everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I'm looking at the Star Wars Titanium series, Mist Hunter. Now, the Mist Hunter was first seen in the novel of Possible Futures, The Tale of Zuckuss and Forlom. Now, I have to say, this is a very interesting craft. It is labeled as a starfighter. The exact name is a G-1A starfighter, which has been heavily modified by two bounty hunters, Zuckuss and Forlom. And we saw them with Boba Fett and IG-88 and Bossk in The Empire Strikes Back. Really interesting characters. Now, for the size of this particular vessel, we're looking at a length of 3¼ inches long, which is pretty cool. So everybody knows the drill by now. We're going to take a look at the mold, the paint, put on a stand, compare it to some other vessels, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. Alright, kicking this review off looking at the mold. Like always, I will go over the major sections of the vehicle, and then we'll get a nice close-up view to see all the fine details this baby has to offer. So first up, we have our cockpit made out of translucent plastic. It opens up. You can see a little detail in there, not much to talk about, but we will have a closer look in a few. Then we have two laser cannons right here, very similar to X-Wings in design, but they differ in the back right there. Pretty neat. Moving on, we have solar array wings, very much like a TIE fighter. I think they came out great. And I love the bar on the back too. I think that's a nice design. For the bottom of the craft, 4 screws holding it together, peg port for our stand, copyright crap. Bottom intakes, looking pretty good. And then we have our engines. Pretty interesting design, I will say. So that covers all the major parts of the ship. So now let's get a close-up view and see what this baby really has to offer. Okay, beginning our closer view, looking at the bottom of the ship, we can see our screw, peg port for the stand, and some line work on the sides. Pretty cool. Moving back, we have our air intakes. Nicely molded. And I have to say, this ship is very aerodynamic looking. Lots of round edges and curves. A lot of prequel era design elements are in here. Moving back, we have another screw on the engines. Copyright crap, released in 2009. Pretty cool. We can see in the engines some more line work and paneling. Pretty cool. On this side, nice. We have our engines, and I love how they're molded here. Pretty sick. On the top of the engines, mirrors what they are on the bottom. And I love the design. I think it's kind of cool. And you can see all the negative space there. That is fantastic. I love that quite a bit. Moving on from there, looking at these solar array wings. You can see they're nicely detailed. I love the line work here. Pretty cool. For the sides, there's not much detail to talk about. Basically just molded plastic. We have this nice roll bar, pretty flat. And then our other wing. Pretty cool. Then we have our laser cannon. Nicely done. Love the detailing on that. Then we have panel lines. Pretty sick. And then moving on to the other laser cannon. Pretty cool. I think that came out great. Now for the fronts of the engines, we can see it's a lot of rounded sections. Pretty cool. Hinge for our cockpit, which we'll get to very soon. And then we can see in the front, we have this little fin here. I guess we could say it's like a pylon almost, because it connects to the top wing section. Pretty cool. But anyway, for our cockpit, we have some molded supports here. Looking pretty good. Some panel lines on the side. I think they came out great. And this does open, so let's check that out. We can see it's one chair and a control panel. Nothing really to write home about. But pretty neat regardless. And that pretty much covers everything. And that does it for the mold. It definitely is a very unique design. So now let's take a look at the paint. Alright, moving on to the paint. The Mist Hunter has about 13 different colors on it, believe it or not. First of all, we have our main color, which is a nice tan. Pretty nice. I do think it came out well. On top of that, we do have dark tan on the engines and in the rear of the engines, and also on the bottom of the vessel. Now we also do have light gray and dark gray. scattered throughout the ship, especially on the top and the aft of the engines. On top of that now, we do have a really pale blue, almost like a robin's egg blue, for the tips of the engines. We have black for the intakes, as well as the solar array wings and the sides. Looking pretty good. Next, we do have some white on the intakes on the bottom, as well as the back of the engines. So that's looking cool. Now for the engines themselves, they are covered with orange. And I like the design, however, I do think that the paint is a little smudged everywhere. It does look a little messy. And in the back is that bright orange. Pretty nice. And that orange isn't just at the engines. As you can see, we have a nice stripe going down the front. Some would say it's a little red, but it does match the back quite well. Then we have yellow. That yellow is on the other side as well, with that orange stripe. Then we have a black and gray. It's almost like a decal. Pretty nice on this side. And then this side, it's a little off of the mold, but not too bad. It's a nice addition. Moving on, we do have metallic gray for the laser cannons. And the braces on a transparent steel window. So that's pretty cool. I always like the metallic colors. And then we have some brown here and there, and you can see it here. It's basically almost like a wash. And it's on the sides as well. Pretty neat. And I think all in all, this is a very nicely painted ship. Obviously, mold-wise, it's very unique, and the paint job is unique to boot. So now that I'm done going over the mold and the paint, let's put this baby on a stand, compare it to some other vessels, and then we'll be done. And just like most Titanium series ships, it comes with a cool stand. Peg it in the port like so, and you are good to go. And now for a quick size comparison with the Star Wars Titanium Mist Hunter seen on our far left. Moving right, we have Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter with the hyperspace ring. Nice model. And finally, on the right-hand side, we have Galoob's original diecast T-65 X-Wing. Not exactly 100% accurate, but a cool attempt for the time. All in all, some beautiful looking ships here. And for an added bonus with the Titanium Mist Hunter, on the right-hand side, we have the Star Wars X-Wing miniatures game Mist Hunter, which is a far superior mold in my own opinion. And that does it today for my review of the Star Wars Titanium series Mist Hunter. Now, the Mist Hunter was first seen in the novel of Possible Futures, The Tale of Zuckuss and Forlorn, and for its size, it's 3¼ inches long, which is pretty good, and goes nicely with the rest of the Titanium line. Now, I said it once, and I'll say it again, the G1A Starfighter is a very unique mold, and I think that's one of the best qualities this little ship has going for it. Now, sadly, the Mist Hunter was never on the silver screen. However, there are tons of different forms of artwork, and even popping up as other models, such as in a tabletop game Star Wars X-Wing. However, putting all that aside, I do think it's a great model, for a couple reasons. One, it's very unique. The detail is pretty nice. I love the wings, the designs, the panel lines, the laser cannons. Everything on here is pretty good. It's not as detailed as I would like it to be, but for the Star Wars Titanium line, it's not too bad. Now with paint, we have about 13 different colors working together, and just looking at it, it doesn't seem like there is that many colors, but there actually are. Different shades of grays, different browns, everything's working together to give us something pretty cool. Now, just like other Titanium series ships, it does come with that cool stand, and I'm digging those. And if you're looking to buy this ship, I would strongly recommend eBay, Amazon, and search around. The prices on this ship do vary. Again, it came out in 2009, so it hasn't been manufactured in almost 10 years. So that's everything I have to say about this awesome looking ship today. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, hit that like button. And if you would like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.